Sasuke Uchiha is a misunderstood character. He gets a lot of hate from fans. See, he's not just Naruto's rival. He's one of the most broken, gifted, and dangerous characters in anime history. Because Sasuke was never simply evil. He was a child shaped by trauma, obsession, betrayal, and power. And if you really break his story down, Sasuke might be one of the most tragic characters in the whole Naruto universe. So in this video, we're explaining Sasuke completely. His origin, his powers, why he left the village, why he became darker and darker, and how he went from Avenger to one of the final protectors of the Shinobi world. And he's in my top 3 of favorite anime characters, so I'm going to enjoy this breakdown. Let's talk about who Sasuke is. Sasuke Uchiha is the last surviving heir of the Uchiha clan, one of the most powerful clans in the Hidden Leaf. From the beginning, Sasuke was portrayed as a prodigy. He was talented, serious, calm, and far more advanced than most kids his age. But beneath all that talent was a kid living in the shadow of two things: his older brother Itachi and the complete destruction of his family. Sasuke's entire identity was built around loss. Before Naruto ever became a rival, before Orochimaru ever tempted him, before he gained all of the insane powers, Sasuke was just a little boy who loved his brother, and then everything in his life was destroyed in one single night. The event that defines Sasuke's entire life is the Uchiha massacre. One night, Sasuke comes home to find his entire clan wiped out. His mom, dad, relatives, his people, they're all gone, and standing in the center of it is his brother, Itachi Uchiha. But Itachi doesn't just leave Sasuke with grief, he mentally destroys him. Using the Mangekyo Sharingan, Itachi forces Sasuke to relive the massacre over and over again, burning that trauma into his mind. Then he tells Sasuke something that changes him forever. If you want to kill me, hate me, run, survive, cling to your pathetic life. That moment creates the Sasuke that we know. From that point on, Sasuke stops living like a normal person. His entire life becomes a mission. Gain power, kill Itachi, avenge the clan. That is the entire engine that drives his character. A lot of people see early Sasuke as arrogant or emotionless, but honestly, Sasuke was emotionally sealed off. He didn't allow himself to be weak because weakness reminded him of that night. He didn't allow himself to get too close to people because attachment meant pain. And he didn't care about normal goals because everything in his life was secondary to revenge. That's why he seemed so distant from Team 7 in the beginning. Naruto wanted acknowledgement. Sakura wanted love. Kakashi wanted to teach them teamwork. But Sasuke, he only wanted power. Still, despite all that, Team 7 ended up mattering more to him than he wanted to admit. That's what makes his story so tragic. For a while, he was actually starting to heal. He was beginning to build bonds again. And that is exactly why the fall hurts so much when it happens. See, Naruto and Sasuke are opposites in the best way possible. Naruto starts with nothing, but keeps moving forward through hope. Sasuke starts with talent, but is dragged down by hatred. Naruto wants connection. Sasuke embraces isolation. But what makes their rivalry so powerful is that they both understand loneliness. Naruto sees Sasuke as the first person his age who truly understands pain, and Sasuke sees Naruto as the one person who keeps getting stronger without being consumed by darkness. That frustrates him because Sasuke believes power comes through pain, sacrifice, and hatred. Naruto keeps proving that power can also come through bonds. That ideological clash becomes the foundation for the entire series. Their rivalry isn't just about who's stronger, it's about two completely different answers to suffering. But Sasuke's turning point comes when he realizes that Naruto is growing rapidly after fighting Haku, Gaara, and seeing Naruto tap into greater power. Sasuke starts to panic, not because he hates Naruto at first, but because he feels that he's falling behind. And for Sasuke, being weak is unacceptable. Weakness means helplessness. Weakness means failing to get to Itachi. Weakness means his family died for nothing. Then Orochimaru shows up and offers him exactly what he wants: more power. The curse mark becomes a symbol of Sasuke's temptation. It represents the shortcut, the dark path, the willingness to abandon everything for strength. When Sasuke finally leaves the Hidden Leaf, it isn't just a betrayal of the village. It's Sasuke choosing revenge over love. He rejects his bonds because he believes they are holding him back. That is one of the most important things to understand about Sasuke. He didn't leave because he felt nothing. He left because his feelings made him feel vulnerable. So, he goes and he starts learning under Orochimaru. Then, Sasuke becomes colder, more ruthless, more focused. But unlike a lot of people expected, Sasuke never truly gives himself over. He uses Orochimaru, trains under him, sharpens his abilities, and absorbs everything that he can. But Sasuke's mind never changes. His only real target is still Itachi. This part of Sasuke's life is him becoming a weapon. He gains greater control, greater speed, stronger jutsu, and a far more dangerous killing instinct. This is where he starts becoming that version of Sasuke that terrifies people. Not just because he's strong, but because he's now emotionally detached enough to do whatever is necessary. Now, let's break down why Sasuke is so dangerous. First, we have the Sharingan. The Sharingan gives Sasuke heightened perception, the ability to read movements, copy techniques, and cast genjutsu. That right there alone makes him elite. Then it evolves into the Mangekyo Sharingan, after the truth of loss and emotional devastation pushes him even further. That grants him even greater visual power and abilities tied to his hatred and pain. Then, later on, he gains the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, removing the limits that came with overusing his eyes. And eventually, he obtains the Rinnegan, one of the most broken abilities in Naruto. This gives him access to space-time techniques, dimensional movement, and absurd combat utility. But Sasuke isn't just a eye power character. His lightning style is insane. Chidori is his signature move, a high-speed assassination technique built around piercing force and precision. Then we have Kirin, one of his coldest attacks, where he manipulates natural lightning itself for a devastating strike. And on top of that, he has the Susanoo, a massive chakra weapon that becomes armor and a weapon. By the end of Naruto Shippuden, Sasuke is basically the full package. Elite taijutsu, intelligence, top-tier dojutsu, lightning mastery, genjutsu, swordsmanship, and one of the best battle IQs in the series. This is the moment that breaks Sasuke all over again. After spending his entire life trying to kill Itachi, finally does it. But then he learns the truth. Itachi didn't massacre the Uchiha simply because he was evil. He did it under orders tied to the Hidden Leaf's political corruption and fear of the Uchiha uprising. Itachi sacrificed everything: his name, his honor, his clan, his very soul, all to protect the village and protect Sasuke. Imagine what that would do to a person. Imagine what it did to Sasuke. The man he most hated in the world was actually the man who loved him the most. That revelation destroys the entire foundation of his life. His revenge was built on a lie. His purpose was built on a lie. And now all of that hatred needs a new target. So Sasuke turns that hatred towards the leaf itself. That's when he shifts from avenger to a revolutionary. So, after learning the truth about Itachi, Sasuke stops seeing the Hidden Leaf as a home. He sees it as the machine that created his suffering. He sees the entire shinobi system as corrupt, hypocritical, and built on sacrifice. And honestly, if you look at it from his perspective, he's not completely wrong. The system used Itachi. The elders manipulated the truth. The village benefited while the Uchiha were erased. So, Sasuke decides that if the system is rotten, then it deserves to be destroyed. This is where he starts crossing moral lines more openly. He becomes willing to kill leaders. He attacks the Kage, and he severs himself further from his humanity. But here's the key point. Sasuke does not become evil in a cartoonish way. He becomes radicalized by pain. He becomes consumed by a belief that only overwhelming force can fix the world. That is what makes him such a compelling character. He doesn't think he's the villain. He thinks he's the only one willing to do what is necessary. So, with all that being said, let's look at Sasuke's philosophy. By the end of Shippuden, Sasuke develops one of the darkest philosophies in the series. He believes true peace can only exist if one person stands above everyone else and controls the world through fear and absolute power. He wants to become a kind of shadow Hokage, a lone figure who bears all the hatred, all the darkness, all the decision making. In his mind, he would unite the world by becoming its common enemy and ultimate authority. This is the final evolution of his trauma. As a child, he wanted revenge. As a young man, he wanted justice. By the end, he wants control, because control is the one thing he believes can prevent suffering. Naruto completely rejects this. Naruto believes peace comes from understanding, connection, and enduring the pain together. And that's why the final battle matters so much. It's not just two strong ninja fighting and punching, it's two worldviews colliding. So let's look at Naruto and Sasuke's final fight. The final battle at the Valley of the End is one of the greatest fights in anime. Not just because of the animation, that's beautiful. Not just because of the power, but because the emotional payoff is built across the entire story. Naruto is fighting to save a friend. Sasuke is fighting to cut that final bond. Every punch, every kick feels personal. Every jutsu carries years of pain behind it. By this point, both of them are basically god tier shinobi. Naruto has overwhelming chakra, shadow clones, 6 pass power, and the will to never give up. Sasuke has the Rinnegan, Susanoo, insane precision, and a willingness to go all the way. And after everything, all the speeches, the hate, the running, it ends with both of them broken, exhausted, and lying side by side after losing an arm. That image is legendary for a reason, because Sasuke finally loses the one battle he had been fighting his whole life, the battle against human connection. Naruto never gave up on him, and in the end, Sasuke is forced to confront the truth, that bonds were never his weakness. They were the only thing that could save him. So, after the war, Sasuke doesn't just go back to normal, and that's the important part. His redemption arc isn't clean, it's not instant, and it isn't meant to erase what he did, because it still happened. Instead, Sasuke chooses atonement. He wanders the world, protects it from the shadows, and carries the weight of his sins without asking for any sympathy. That fits his character perfectly. Naruto becomes that public light. Sasuke becomes the man working in the darkness. He goes from a revenge-driven survivor to a silent guardian figure. And that is why his redemption works for a lot of fans. He doesn't magically become cheerful or soft. He becomes reflective. He's humbled. He is still intense, but he is no longer consumed by hatred. So, Sasuke is one of the most iconic anime characters ever, because he's more than just a cool guy. Yes, he has amazing fights. Yes, his design is legendary. Yes, his powers are incredible. Yes, I love Sasuke. But what really makes Sasuke stand out is how human his descent feels. He is what happens when grief is left untreated. He is what happens when talent is guided by pain instead of love. He is what happens when someone mistakes isolation for strength. And that's why a lot of people can relate to him. Not because they want to go destroy things, but because Sasuke represents anger, loss, betrayal, and the struggle of finding meaning after trauma. He's more than just Naruto's rival. He is the series' greatest warning, and also one of its greatest redemption stories. So, Sasuke Uchiha is one of the best written characters in Naruto because every version of him makes sense. The lonely child, the revenge-obsessed prodigy, the rogue shinobi, the broken avenger, the revolutionary, the redeemed protector. Every stage of Sasuke is built on pain, power, and the desperate need to make his suffering mean something. And that's why he remains unforgettable. Because Sasuke isn't just a cool character, he is tragedy of Naruto in human form. If you love these breakdowns, hit that subscribe button and let's talk about it. Thank you and have a good day.